Hello, welcome back. I'm Morgan,
And I'm Dustin.
and we're about to
Go
go
on
on
a
a tangent.
tangent. I mean, we're getting there, like,
That's.
slowly.
I just like how we just like slow our voices down.
Yes. We go in slow-mo until the other person catches up.
Slow mo. Oh, I got something in my eye. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back. We're gonna go on a tangent. That's where we were at.
Yes. So, I am feeling a little bit better. Little update from last week. I had COVID. I thought I was doing better, and I decided to make a music video, and then it made me a whole lot worse. Yes, and I was like laying in a field. I think maybe it was allergies or something, but I was like laying in a field and stuff, and yeah, it was a whole thing.
What made you think that was a good idea?
Boredom.
Understandable. It
Yeah.
turned out good though.
It did turn out really good. I mean, for me not to have made a music video before, I think it turned out very good. And also, they blocked it in Russia.
Russia has a problem with you. That's kinda
Honestly.
cool.
Yeah.
No, but like when I was watching it, so good. I loved the so he made this music video. He did a shot where he's like laying on this gravel road and there's a bunch of like headless dolls around him and it looks so dope. Anyways, that was really cool and I commend you for making something creative even while you're sick. Also, by the way, for anyone listening, he did have COVID when he made it, but he was also in a secluded field with no one.
Yes, I was in the middle of like nowhere. The only person who would have possibly came around is like the hateful Karen who lives like, down the street.
Yeah, it was just Dustin and his headless dolls. So
Yes.
anyways,
So
I'm
how was your
sorry.
week, Morgan?
You know what? My week.
You're like, I don't want to talk about anything.
Okay. So I'm kind of going through it. You know the whole phrase of like healing is not linear. It's not. Like, dude, I freaking. I followed my ex on Twitter.
Oh God, no.
So I'm like, why'd I do that? Let's move on.
Okay. Let's just move on. Let's see. Speaking of the dolls that you were talking about, okay, I have a weird thing, and I might cut this out of the video, but I'm not sure. But I have a weird thing where.
That's funny. It's funny because like all I could see is your hand, and you were like, "That's kind of a weird thing." But like I just like you were talking so much with your hand. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So, okay, I'm very creative and stuff, and I like to do creative, projects and stuff like that. And I fell down a hole on Instagram and stuff here a couple of months back of doing like doll photography. And
Yeah.
you've seen some of them,
I'm obsessed with it. You're so good at it.
And I think I have a problem now because I'm giving these little dolls personalities.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I just got this really cute little girl. She has like dark brown hair and like highlights and stuff. Like she's like Latina, and my other Latina girl didn't have like a family member.
Oh, she needed one. She's lonely.
Yeah. Like I have a full like little town just like chilling in a box and
Dude, no, I respect it. I have a friend who like does makeovers for dolls, so he'll get like messed up dolls from the thrift store, and he'll like he knows all the formulas to like redo their hair to where it's soft again and get all the tangles out, and then he'll wipe their face features off with acetone and like repaint their faces.
Yeah.
It's a cool like niche hobby if you look into it. Anyways, what he says when he's saying doll photography, you guys, it's cool because he takes like Barbie dolls, like that size dolls, like. And makes it look like, dude, I don't know how you do it, but he makes it look to scale. So he'll like take it from an angle where it looks like the doll is like standing in a street next to a car, and like it all looks like the doll is life size. It's really cool.
And I really wanted to do, because I had made like an Instagram and everything for him, but I wanted to do a like series where I did like devilish dolls. And I did one, and it was supposed to be like Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
And like it turned out okay, but I don't know.
Dude, I support this hobby so much. I support it.
It's either that or I'd like just do cocaine or something. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, after working in retail for 4 years, I need something to like occupy my time, you know?
Dude, honestly, anyone that works in retail has a free pass to do cocaine at least once. I'm just kidding. Don't take that seriously. But like, yeah. So that was a really good segue. Really proud of you for that one.
Speaking of retail, Morgan came up with, she came up with this idea, but I also found somebody made a comment about this. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, that's why I suggested we do it.
Okay. John, I guess, said, can we please get a Retail Nightmares episode? So,
yes, you absolutely can, John. This episode's for you.
Yes, that is what we are doing today.
So I think we should both start off by like just giving our background in retail, like where, if you're comfortable saying where you worked or like what type of store you worked at, how long you worked there, and like just kind of a general background of like our retail experience, because I think we're gonna both have different experiences, but also the same because it's retail, like you're selling a product, you know?
Yeah.
So my retail experience stems from my first ever job. I started working when I was 15 at a thrift store, and I would just go I would go after school, and and I worked there till I was 18. So can't do math. It was like 3.5 years. And it was at a thrift store, so that's my experience, which is a little different because everything was used. So it's like,
yeah.
But we did also like order inventory for like drinks and food and stuff. So I also have experience in that. But anyways, it was a thrift store, so I feel like that's a whole different experience of like, dude, some donation horror stories, some people swapping out their clothes. It's a lot. And that store was so musty. It smelled so bad. Oh, it smelled bad. Anyways, that's my only retail experience, though.
Okay, so I worked at a grocery store. I worked at 2 grocery stores, actually. So I worked at one all through high school, and it was, I don't think they have it in every state. Can I get sued? Hold on, let me think. I don't think so. I worked at a place called Food City.
Girl, we are not famous enough to get sued. Like, Food City ain't gonna watch this shit.
No, they don't care. And I worked there for 4 years, and like all through high school and stuff. And I mean, it was like it was just a normal job. I went out and got buggies or carts all the time. I bagged groceries for people. I slowly made my way up to where I was like a cashier and like a self-checkout person, you know? And then I ended up quitting there. I just walked out because the one manager, so I was still in high school, so I couldn't work past like, I think it was 10 p.m. or something. And I worked, usually what would happen is I would work until 10, and I would go, and at like 9:30 I would go and give this old cranky ass bitch named Cricket. Oh wait, should I say her name? Yeah, it's fine. She's old. She ain't gonna.
Was that actually her name?
Yeah.
Cricket?
Cricket.
Like the bug?
Yes.
Was that a nickname?
I don't know. But let me tell you, I don't condone violence, but if a bus would have hit this woman, I wouldn't have complained.
Cricket.
But so no. Okay, so anyways, I'll get to the reason why I hated this lady. But anyways,
Wait, so I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on her name. I'm sorry.
You're still stuck on the Cricket.
No, because you said it so, because you're used to her, like you spent so much time there, so you said it so casual.
And you're like, that's not a normal name.
just have a whole episode talking about weird ass names, and then you're gonna come over here and call this woman Cricket. I want to know if that's her government name, like Cricket.
That's what everybody knew her as. I don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to keep it together. But what the hell?
Yeah. So.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I would go and I would give Cricket her like lunch or break or whatever, and so at 9:30, I would go and have to like leave where I was, go over there, take over her register, and then I would like she'd go take her break and stuff, then she'd come back, and then it would be time for me to leave. So this night, the manager, he was a dick, okay, and he does like amateur wrestling now or something. I don't know. Anyways, but he. I'm telling you, I could have a TV show and it would be freaking amazing. Let me tell you, if I had a TV show about my life.
Oh my
but
God.
So he went and he came over to me that night, and that night specifically, they were cutting hours, so they cut my hours from like 10 o'clock down to 9:30. So I was supposed to go home at 9:30, and where I was in high school, I couldn't work over. So he comes over and he was like, okay, like it's, like 9:25. He's like, I need you to go over there and give Cricket her lunch. And I was like, I leave in like 5 minutes. And he's like, what? And this man like flew off the handle, like so like just like, he slammed a clipboard down in my face because there was like a podium that I was standing at, and he just slams the clipboard.
Why do managers always have a clipboard? What are they gonna do with that?
I don't know. But he was also like always in a mood because like his doctor told him that he had to stop drinking Dr. Pepper. But anyways, so
specifically Dr. Pepper. He's like, dude, you gotta come up with it.
Yeah. So he slams the clipboard down in like my face, and he's like, this is bullshit, like blah 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 blah, like why didn't you tell me? And I was like, you've been carrying your little clipboard around for the past like 6 hours. You didn't think to look at the schedule and see? And
Also,
it pissed me off. Fuck that place, I'm done. And I didn't turn in a 2-week notice or anything. I just left, and they I had been there for 4 years, and they like started calling me. They're like, what's going on? Like, are you dead? Like, blah, blah, stuff like that. And I'm like,
they started. Now they want to act concerned. And
I'm a very I'm a very much a person of, I don't care if you are a manager or a janitor or whatever. You treat me with respect, and I will treat you with respect. But if you cross that line, we're done. I'm not, and I'm not going to let anybody talk to me or treat me like that.
Yeah.
So, unless I'm, I have like romantic feelings, that's not like, reciprocated. Then I'll just let you treat me any way you want to.
Oh my God. Okay, mood though. Why were these grown ass managers so hard on high schoolers? And like looking back at it now, oh my God, they took advantage of high schoolers. The entire night shift crew at this thrift store was high schoolers, teenagers. And it was the thing with like closing at the thrift store. So yeah, we closed at 9. First of all, why do you need to stay up until 9 as a thrift store?
Yeah.
Who, like, I'm sorry, what? And people would come in at like 8:59 and be like, oh, I just have to grab one thing. I'm like, you can't grab anything here. You have to dig through stuff. Like, what do you mean? Anyways, so we closed at 9, but then we had to literally go through every aisle and clean up, like pick clothes off the floor, fix all the hangers, like put all the clothes back that people decided they didn't want. Oh my gosh. And so there was never a set time when we would get to go home, and it was exhausting. And then as high schoolers, we started talking about our pay eventually and found out that like I found out I was there for like 2 years when I found out that like someone like started at a higher rate than me, and I was training them. And I was like, wait a minute. And then it just turns out they're like, oh, like in their heads are like, they're high schoolers, like because as a high schooler, when you get a job, you're like, heck yes, money.
Yeah.
Like, I will do the hardest work for minimum wage and not question it. But then, like, because you don't know. You don't have that life experience to be like, wait a minute. I should be getting paid more for
And I
this.
think that's just...
oh, my God.
I think that's almost why they, in a way, prey on high schoolers, because they are inexperienced.
Absolutely.
They don't know, what...
Yeah.
Like, how much, what is the word I'm looking for? How much value their work is.
Time is worth. Yeah. And, like, another thing I had noticed was, like, if the very rare occasion that we hired adults for night shift, they would never stay long.
Yeah.
And I never, like, quite understood it. Turns out, you can't make a living wage. Like, you can't pay your bills and do this, like, it was hard work, dude. And, like, managers. So it was, like, this one, and honestly, thinking about it now as an adult, if I was a manager I'm not going to say I would have treated us the way that my managers did, but I'm saying I can kind of understand, like, being surrounded by high schoolers who, like, have their whole life ahead of them, and then you're, like...
Stuck in a dead-end job, kind of.
Store. Yeah.
It's like resentment.
And I'm not talking down... Yeah, it's resentment. And I'm not talking down to anyone that may be in that position now that's listening to this, because obviously you need to work, like, get your money where you can. But I do think there comes a point where, like, that's not an excuse to mistreat, like, people that are working under you just because you're unhappy where you are. That's not their fault.
Yeah, and, like, okay, so, do you remember how much, like, roughly you made there?
Mm-hmm. So when I started, I got $7.25 an hour. And then I found out after 2 years that they raised the starting rate to $8.50. No, it was they raised the starting pay to $8.25. And it had been like that for at least like 2 months. And I never got a raise. So I, like, confronted them about it, and I was like, why are y'all starting these new hires getting paid more than me? And first of all, let me tell you, when I brought it up, the first thing they wanted to know is who was discussing their pay with you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, we're not going to get other people in trouble for talking about their pay, because, hey, if you're listening to this and you don't know, it's not illegal, and you cannot get fired for discussing your pay with your coworkers. So I don't know who started that rumor, but I was horrified. I thought you couldn't talk about your pay. That's not true. They just don't want y'all to hear that they're, like, not paying y'all fairly. And they're like, oh, we're not starting people more. We just raised our starting pay rate. And I was like, okay, well, am I getting paid that? And they, like, looked in the system, and they were like, oh, no. I'm like,
that's
what
so
do you
weird.
mean? Yeah, and so I'm like, I'm training people. I should be getting paid at least a little bit more than them, right? And that was my first, like, kind of my first glimpse of, like, wow, adulthood sucks, dude. Like, it's dirty out there. So anyways, I guess to make up for it, they were like, okay, we'll raise you to $8.50. So, like, I was training people that were getting $8.25, and after working there for 3 years, I got a 25-cent raise.
Whenever I went to Walmart, which is the second place I worked at, which I have a shit ton of stories about there, so we might get into that in a second. But I started out there at 11 something, I believe, and then by the time I left there, I was getting 12.44, I think it was. It was weird.
Mind you, guys, he worked there up until 2021 or 2022?
February.
Of this year.
Of this year.
So he worked there for, what, like 3 years? 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
And
4 years.
Yeah, and was getting paid less than what a lot of places are starting their pay rate.
Oh. There's more. Because I then found out that they were hiring people in at $15 an hour.
Nope. Why do places do this?
Uh-huh. And, well, see, that's the thing, too. They were like, oh, well, it's like a new thing where we are going to... I could do a whole freaking podcast episode talking shit about this place, but, like, exposing all of their secrets. But They basically.
That's why y'all gotta give yourselves the self checkout discount at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of like relationship we would ever have at Walmart, out the window. Like if we ever got famous and like could do sponsorships, Walmart, we're on their blacklist.
I have like a weird I try to be civil whenever it comes to leaving a place unless they do me dirty. Which both places have done me dirty. Okay? And like anyways, so like Walmart, they were like, oh, this is like the new like starting hiring in play, like, you know, pay. And I was like, okay, where's my like money for it? I've been here for like 4 years now. And they were like, well, it's gonna go in sections around the store. And so like the like online grocery people, they'll get it first. No. And then the front end people will get it first, and then all the sales floor associates, which is what I was considered, is going to get it last.
What?
They only raised me like $1.44, and I didn't get it to begin with. Me and only me, okay, and one other woman did not get our raise in the entire store. And the manager, she came over to me and she was like, so I just wanted to let you know there was like a mistake in the system and you aren't getting your raise. And I was like, what? And she's like, no, it's going to be fixed. But I just, I just wanted you to know before you got on there and like freaked out. And she's like, it's you and like Amanda. And I was like, oh, this is slightly homophobic. like the one gay guy in the entire store doesn't get a raise? Fishy. But I don't know. By the time I left there and everything, it wasn't, it was just kind of, I was over it. I was hiding in the bathroom a whole lot.
They literally started, if I was in the restroom for like longer, I swear it was like 2 minutes, I would hear over the intercom, Morgan at customer service. And I would like pinch it back up and go back in there and be like, can I help you? And they'd be like, we were just, what was the term they used? They would be like, we're just touching base, seeing like where everyone's at. And I'd be like, I was in the restroom, doing my business.
My car died.
On the topic of being not paid fairly as a high schooler, or like being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So with it being a thrift store, there was obviously the sales floor, and then there was the back, which was called processing. And that's where all the donations go and have to be gone through. And then the thrift store I worked at, everything was individually tagged and priced. So there was different prices for stuff. So there was like these computers that you had to like enter in like the condition it was in, the brand, like whatever. And so anyways, so boring. But with processing, it was literally all, I don't want to say all, but the majority of the people that worked in processing were undocumented people, and they took advantage of that. Like, it was sick because the ladies that worked in the back and the men, there were men that would like take furniture donations and like do a lot of heavy lifting, and it was like hot back there, and they hands down, no questions asked, had the hardest job in that store. And they were getting paid lower than minimum wage because they were undocumented, so it's like hard to get a job here.
Yeah.
And it was like understood that like it was a safe place for them to work because like the manager knew, like she would hire them under like fake names and stuff, which I am all for, like undocumented citizens getting jobs, but I definitely don't think just because they don't have documentation they should be getting paid less. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And they were worked harder than, and it's messed up because a lot of times like they were just put in the back because one, it's a harder job and they could get away with paying them less, and two, it was like they were like hidden in the back because a lot of them didn't speak very good English, so they didn't want them like around customers. It was so gross, and like some of the nicest people I've ever met worked back there. And anyways, so yeah, they got that.
So okay, I'm gonna kind of touch on that a little bit, since you brought up like undocumented people and stuff. So this doesn't really have to do with retail, but like I worked at a fast food restaurant that serves chicken.
Do they support? Support the gays?
I don't know. It's not that one.
Oh, no.
That one's too fancy for me. But okay, so Reba was like their mascot for a second, if that helps you any.
KFC? Popeyes?
Yes, KFC.
Okay.
Anyways, so I worked there for like 6 months. I think it happened there and at Burger King. Both places this kind of thing happened. So, because I worked at Burger King too. But so like Hispanic people would come in, and for like at KFC there'd be like an upcharge for like the bar or you know something like that. And the managers were like, "Well, just go ahead and upcharge them." And then they said the same thing at Burger King. Whenever it was like a medium or a large, they'd be like, just charge them a large.
Even if they weren't getting a large?
Because they're not going to... They said just charge them for a large because they're not going to know the difference.
Ew!
Yep.
So they would automatically,
Yeah.
like if they didn't understand if you were asking them if they wanted the smaller or the large, they would just automatically... Ew! That's so...
And then, on top of all of that, at Walmart... They had a special code for whenever Hispanic people would come in. Like, okay, because around where I work, I don't know, like, there are tomato fields. I know that's a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but a lot of undocumented people will come and get jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, and like they'll get hired around where I live, and so the guy who pays them and stuff, he will go and you know like I think it was like every Friday or something they would be paid, and then they would like pile up in a bus, like an old school bus, and come into the store, and they'd all like just get their kind of like weekly groceries and all that kind of stuff. Well, it would be kind of like a flood of people just coming in. And the store had a specific, like, thing that they would say over the intercom to let people know, like, the other, workers and stuff, that, like, you need to come up front and help and get on a register because, like, they just came in.
So it wasn't a code to be like, ooh, these bad people are in here. It was more of, like, we're getting busy. It was like, oh, it's a rush.
Yeah, but some people made it bad.
Like, oh, them. Like.
So the code was Code Spark. Okay.
Okay.
And
this wasn't.
Some people.
This wasn't like a corporate issued code. It was like.
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Like, I don't see why you would need a code specifically for that instead of just being like. All cashiers to your register, you know, like if it's busy.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Ew.
Yeah. And it would only happen whenever, like, like the buses would, like, be outside and stuff.
That's so cool. I don't like that.
And people, like, started making jokes and they're like, haha, like, code slur, like, insert slur. Yeah.
Ew.
And I'm just like, y'all are disgusting. And, like.
Why do we live in the South? That's so gross. Okay,
honestly,
but on
a
less like disheartening and racist note, you were saying like having codes. So basically, working at this thrift store, we had our regulars. Okay, we had the customers that came in, and we had the people who would come in and don't know why it was really strange, but they would come in. And they would leave wearing a completely different outfit. I don't know how it happened. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a thrift store. First of all, it's a thrift store, and I did not care enough to confront them. Like, that's above my pay grade. I don't care.
Yeah.
Take what you want. I do not care. But also, we couldn't, because how do you prove, You know, like, how do you prove that
Yeah.
that used shirt is ours? You can't take that.
Yeah.
And, dude, another thing people do all the time is we accepted returns for store credit because we didn't have a dressing room, which is another thing people got mad about. And I'm like, why would you want to try on clothes anyways? Like, at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we had a return policy where you could bring your clothes back with the tags on and the receipt and get store credit. Well, how our tags were attached, actually, for the viewers out there, I got this bathing suit top from the thrift store I used to work at, and
is it one of the like little?
Yes.
Oh, I can't think of what it's called. Like
punch guns.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So how the tags are attached? Let me get my camera to focus on it. They're attached with plastic, okay? Like, it's just this paper tag, and then there's, like, this plastic punch gun. It's, like, a special gun that you get to attach to tags. Well, people would show up with returns, and the tags would be, like, stapled. And they would be like, that's how I got it. And we would be like, no, it's not. And then,
you're like,
also...
Sir, I believe you're lying to me.
Like, also, on the tags, people didn't realize this because they didn't work there. But if you're ever trying to steal from America's Thrift Store... Or, like, not steal. If you're ever trying to, like, hustle America's Thrift Store, here's what not to do. So the tags literally, like, have a description of what the item is. So, like, this says ladies swim top on the top in, like, really tiny letters. So, like, if you take this tag, people would think they were being slick. They would take a tag, staple it to a pair of old pants they didn't want anymore, and then bring it back trying to get store credit for, like, whatever was on the tag. Yeah. And we would be like, we can't take this. So those are like some of the things I dealt with working in the thrift store. Another thing is the donations. Dude, thank God my job was not going through those donations. But it's dangerous. Like, I remember one lady told me that there was a needle, like a syringe.
I don't like that.
And I know. And then there was like several times people would just donate trash, like trash bags, with just garbage in it. Like, just take it to the dumpster.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? And then people would, like, pick up their dog's poop with a shirt and then donate the shirt with dog shit wrapped in it. Dude, we got period-filled pants.
No.
We got sex toys and dildos. We got animal heads from, like, hunting. Not like like they would be like
taxidermied, like
plaque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I need to clarify
that. Decapitated animal head. I believe that's a like threat.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So lots of fun stuff there, and yeah. So, how would y'all deal with theft? Like, did y'all I'm asking more so at Walmart.
Okay,
like, did y'all have, like...
Basically, we had a, like, AP, like, asset protection person. And he would, like, just wear, like, normal clothes, you know, all that stuff. And he would walk around. And if we thought that somebody was stealing, he would, like, follow them. Okay?
Yeah.
But unless he saw them stick something in their pockets or something like that, he is not allowed to actually stop them. And if somebody comes to, like, walk out the store, you cannot stop them. Once they get out of the store and in the parking lot, we're not allowed to, like, step off of the sidewalk. So, a lot of people...
Y'all do with that information
yes,
what you will.
A lot of people, and especially, like, the town that I live in. The town that I live in is kind of like... What's a good word for it? Not ghetto. Methy? Whenever Walmart was 24 hours, we did not have a AP for overnights. So they lost more product than what they sold overnight. And whenever they changed it to where they were closing at like 11 o'clock, then the guy would stay there till like, 10 o'clock at night. And then he'd leave and then, they'd shut the store down. So they made like a big profit of it, you know, like a big profit whenever the stores and stuff started closing at 11, because so many people weren't able to like come in overnight and just fill up a cart and walk out with it.
I don't remember when, but at some point they started selling drinks. Like they put like the drink coolers up at the front,
Yeah.
and then they had like snacks too. Dude, the amount of Monster energy drinks I have stole from that store. Like, because I would be so angry and bitter. It was me and my friend Josh. We would both be like, man, fuck this. We'd have like 3 finals the next day.
Yeah.
We're like, no. We would like cheers and just drink them and then throw the cans away. So many. I'm not saying this is a good thing, y'all.
Yeah.
This is like not okay. But oh my God, I don't know how we never got in trouble for that. Not a clue. Also, that's all alleged, and it didn't actually
Yes,
happen.
it's all alleged, it's all hearsay, it's all...
It's all hearsay. No, okay, so, what are some common buzzwords or phrases that patience? Oh my God. Okay, what are some common phrases or like buzzwords that customers would say to you?
Okay, I would go to ring up something and the barcode wouldn't ring up, and they're like, so I guess it's free, right?
If it doesn't scan, it's free.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you can only fake laugh at that so many times.
Oh, I got so good at it. That's one of the things that I think that I could be a better actor than Amber Heard is, because I got very like quick on the, you know,
like pretending
you know.
like you never heard that line before.
And
like, oh my gosh.
I got the fastest turnaround like for my face. Like I can be smiling and giggling and like and then just like as soon as I
turn it
yeah,
off.
as soon as
I feel like anyone that's worked in retail can do that
Yeah.
shit. Like turn that face off. Okay, another one that's really popular and was a common one for me was so we had to check all bills except $1 bills.
yeah.
Like we even had to check 5s.
Yeah.
And I would take the little marker and I would go to swipe it, and they're oh, it's good. I just made it this morning.
Yeah.
Shut up! I don't I cannot.
Okay, so see, I got so tired of hearing that I found a little like trick on how to do it, because okay, so the Walmart like register screens, they're like is it LCD? LED? LED. It's like LED lots. So I would just like hold the like money up in front of it slightly and see if I see the little like man's head. And then, you know, I would just do that because I was just like, I'm not going to go, and because we didn't use pins. At Walmart, they don't use pins. Mm-hmm. They just expect you to like
Maxx doesn't,
feel it.
Dude, TJ Maxx doesn't check like 100s. They don't check anything. And I got a fake one time at the thrift store. So basically what I would do is if someone gave me a stack of money, like, and say there was a 20, a 10, a 5, and 4 ones, I would just fan the stack of money out and just run the pen over it. Ooh, another thing I wanted to talk about was people coming in at closing time.
Oh, yeah.
So you worked at Walmart when they started like closing,
Yes.
like they weren't 24 hours,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because I don't know if it's because I've worked in retail that it makes me like, I will not go in a store if
it's within like 30 minutes of them
like,
closing.
30
Yep.
minutes. That's my cutoff, dude.
Yep.
I will not, because I know they have shit they need to do.
Yep.
Same with restaurants, because I know like they have to do all that cleanup. So the closing announcements did nothing. And towards like my last, like when I knew I was just done with that job, I would follow people around, because that was another thing. It was always the same people that would come in last minute. And I swear, the people that come in at closing times are the messiest. Like they will go through and like tornado through the store. And so it was like, I would follow them so closely. Like if they were shopping through an aisle, I would be next to them fixing the aisle loudly. Like I would pat the hangers down. And then on my last day, I'll never forget, it was this girl and her little sister, and they would come in, and the girl was probably like 14 or 15, and then her little sister was probably like 8 or 9. And their parents would always wait in the car. They never bought anything, okay? They came in, and they would first thing they would do, they would go to the shoes. They would try on like high heels, like they were playing dress up. But it was always 5 to like 3 minutes before closing. And so my last shift, I followed them to the shoes, and they would leave the shoes on the floor. So first of all, it's a thrift store. I don't want to pick up those nasty used-ass shoes. Like, ew. So I would follow them and put them up, and then, like, I followed them, and then she went to the shirts, and she started doing this thing where, so imagine a shirt that's hung up on a hanger. Mm-hmm. She would pick up the shoulder of the shirt, causing it to, like, fall off the hanger, and then it would fall to the ground. So I started, like, going up behind her, like, pushing on the hangers really hard and like just being aggressive because it was my last day. I was like, I don't give a fuck. She's done this before. She got on my nerves. She turns to me and she goes, "Can I help you?" I said, "Actually, we're closed and you keep messing up the aisles and we're trying to go home.
So you need to leave."
And she was like, she said, "You get paid to do it. I'm just here shopping." I said,
oh my God.
So mad. I said, "Yeah, we don't get paid enough to do it, and also the store is closed, so we actually
need you to leave.
I know you're not going to buy." I said something along the lines of, like, "I know you're not going to buy anything, but even if you were going to, our registers don't work anymore. Like, we can't, like, you have to leave. Like, we're closed." And I don't know why people couldn't get that in their little brains. So that was really, like, it felt so good. Like, like, I remember it was my last day, and when I saw those 2 little girls walk in, I was like, oh, hell no. My last day, I wanted to go home. I was like, no, dude, no. And then another thing, working at the thrift store, so we had a toy aisle. You would think that was daycare. You would think it was just, was this at Walmart too? Yeah, probably. Of like just letting your kids go to the toy aisle.
Just play and do whatever. And what would piss me off is, and I mean, I'm not going to be mean to the kid because like the kid don't know, you know?
Exactly.
But,
they
like,
don't know better.
I was very aggressive and I would like slam like My Little Pony boxes down and just glare at the parent and be like, you know, like.
It's the parent. Yeah. And then on top of that was another thing, dude, that made me sad is like, parents would use like their kids' strollers to put stuff in, like to steal stuff.
So, it was like the first, like, couple of times that we started closing at 11, and this man walks up, and I was with my manager, and she was like, "Oh, you know, we're closed," and we were trying to get everybody out of the store, and he's like, "Ma'am, I just need to get in there for just a second," and she's like, "I can't let you in," and he's like, "Please," and she's like, "Well, do you know what you're gonna go get?" And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Okay, what?" He's like, "Well, it's very important, I have to get it tonight," and she's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "My wife needs a bra."
No, she doesn't.
And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, she needs a bra." And she's like, "That's not something that she needs right now." He's like, "Yes, it is. She needs it now." And she's like, "Sir, go home."
Go on.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I would have accepted is like hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah, or some sort of like medicine, like, you know.
Baby formula, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we wrap up, there's this one story that basically made me want to film this video.
Okay.
I haven't told you this either, Dustin.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is my key retail, like when I think of the customers at the thrift store. Also, I'm not talking down at people that shop at thrift stores. I love shopping at thrift stores. Everything I own is from a thrift store. So when I say like customers at thrift stores, I'm not like talking badly about thrift store shoppers, obviously. And also it's like trendy now to shop at thrift stores. It hasn't always been that way. And like I grew up because I had to go to thrift stores.
Yeah.
Anyways, whole other tangent. So I was fresh age of 15. I couldn't even drive yet, but I was, I was young and I got to work and my boss was like, "Hey, I need you to go change the mannequin up front," because we had mannequins.
Yeah.
And they were so janky because we just had like old random mannequins that would get donated to us. So like limbs would be falling off, like whatever. So So I had to change the outfit on this mannequin, and I go up, I like picked out this cute outfit, and then I went up to start changing it. And how this mannequin worked is like the top torso came off, and then the legs were attached to a rod. Mm-hmm. So you had to like pull the top torso off and set it to the side to put like the pants on, and then you dress the top half, and then you put the mannequin back together.
Yeah.
So I'm mid torso, dude. Like I've got this mannequin like halfway off, and it's like big. Yeah. Like I'm like this tiny, like, so I'm like disassembling this mannequin, and this dude.
Oh no.
This dude hobbles in, and he goes, and I didn't see him yet because my back was to him, but he goes, I just hear from behind, I got a mannequin at home you can undress anytime. I turn around. This man had one leg. I said, oh. And I I was too shy. But I wanted to be like, is your other leg at home too? Like, what do you mean?
Oh my God.
And I'm only saying this because he was like a creepy old man that was like hitting on a 15-year-old. Like, I'm not saying this to be mean about like people with one leg.
Yeah.
If you have one leg, that's fine. If you're a creep, that's not fine.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it freaked me out, and like I didn't know what to say. Like, it made me uncomfortable. And then I told my boss at the time. And again, guys, it's not funny because the dude had one leg. It's funny because he had one leg and he was an asshole. But the dude, I told my boss what happened and like how he made me uncomfortable. My boss said, dude, you he said, because he came in with he had one crutch.
Yeah.
And then he was like walking on the other leg. He was like, all you had to do was take his crutch away.
Oh no. We should do a whole podcast episode talking about like creepy people we've encountered too.
Oh, yeah, because I think that's a whole different thing. Working in retail versus like retail customers.
Yes.
So if you guys want a part 2,
yes,
maybe even next week.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and like have, because you know we go on tangents.
Yes.
But maybe me and you can both like type up.
Yeah.
Like a list of customers.
Yeah.
Because that's just one of the stories.
Yes, I have a lot of stories too. I have a full on I have 2 stalkers that came out of working there.
Oh yeah, I have one as well. Yeah. So if you guys want that, if this was interesting, let us know, and we'll definitely film that maybe next week or the week after once we hear y'all's feedback. If you want to hear that, if this is boring and you couldn't relate to it, that's fine. But I think working in retail is a pretty relatable topic. So, anyways, let us know down below some of your retail horror stories, whether it be shopping in retail, because there's obviously crazy retail workers as well. So if you have a bad experience with a worker, or working in retail, if you have a crazy experience you want to tell, or even like what you like about working in retail, because there are good things about it if you really think hard enough. So I think we're gonna have to wrap it up because we've been rambling for a long time. Also, go stream Harry's House. Harry's album is out. It's really good. Let me know what your favorite song is in it. Have you listened to it yet?
No, I haven't yet.
Better.
I just found out that Heartstopper got renewed for 2 new seasons on Netflix, so I'm like excited about that.
You need to talk to Kate about that because she's obsessed with that show.
It's so good. It's so wholesome and gay.
That's all we need.
But
okay.
Yes, we need wholesome gays.
We need more wholesome gays.
All of our social media is going to be linked down below also. And
y'all better comment on this video because only one of y'all commented last week when I said if you don't comment, your name's Gus, and only one person was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna comment because I don't want to be called Gus." I know you're listening to me right now.
Did not want to be named Gus.
Listening to me right now. You better freaking comment, okay?
Yes.
Love you.
But I love you guys.
Bye.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.